Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you could join me today. My name is Jerry. We're going to take a look at the best top 3 picks for entry exits in the stock market today. I do this every day. So if you haven't watched my YouTube videos from the previous day, go back and look at those. Now, let's take a look at the 1-minute chart right away up front here, and then we'll look at the top 3 picks. You'll see at the beginning of the day that the market came out hot and traded pretty good till about 9:45, and then it traded sideways, which it's been doing that same thing all the way till about noon the last few days. But the big difference is that in the afternoon, normally we saw prices maybe drop a little bit, then go up and finish very strong, but not today. Look at that. Big drop. And I've been talking about this the last few days. I said I believe there's going to be a pullback in the stock market coming because on the daily chart, I saw some things on there that look like there's going to be a pullback. So let's go take a look at the daily chart and just see what we got going on there. Click on that. Sure enough, the daily chart all the way there on the right, you'll see it says high $413.96. Sure enough, the high recently in the last few days has been today, but look at that red candlestick. Okay. And what I think is going to happen here is we're going to have at least a couple days, 3 or 4 days, something like this, of a pullback. So it may not be a huge pullback, but though it could be, because there's some seriously elevated pricing going on right now. But we're at least going to have a pullback, I think, for a few days. And we're going to see here in a minute as we switch over to the top 3 picks, the best exact for you day traders who want to know exactly what were the best times to enter on the average now over the last 3 days. Let's take a look at this. It's been longs for quite a while, but not anymore. So let's start at the bottom of this spreadsheet. Look at the shorts. So for the last 3 days, the number one best minute on the average now to enter would have been 11:44 a.m. So if you're on the East Coast, I'm in the United States here. I'm in Central Standard Time or Daylight Savings Time in Texas. If you're on the East Coast, like New York, Florida, add an hour to the time to see it in the spreadsheet. If you're Mountain Time, you're going to subtract 1 hour. If you're Pacific Time, California, West Coast, you're going to subtract 2 hours. So just keep that in mind. You're looking at these spreadsheets, okay? But getting back to the short side, the bottom here, the number one entry was 11:44 a.m. Look at that. And the exit was at 1:09 p.m. Isn't that amazing? It changed just like that. And I had warned about this. I said, for you day traders, be careful. Keep your positions a little bit smaller if you're on the long side, because I believe when it comes, it's going to be very quick. It happens very suddenly, and sure enough, it did. As we saw in that 1-minute chart, the price just turned quick and coming down. I think we're going to see that over the next few days. There may be a day in there or two that comes back and we get some rebounds, but overall, I think over the next few trading days, maybe even going into next week, we're going to see a pullback for a little bit. Okay, if you had 10 shares, that's $26. And you can see compared to the 10 shares on the long side, it was a little bit more profitable to trade short today, right? 50 shares would have been $128, 100 shares, $256, 200 shares, $511, and 300 shares would have been $767. And the number 2 best entry point or time today, or over the last 3 days on average, would have been 11:45 a.m. So almost identical. And exit at 1:09 the same. You see the profit there was very similar to the number 1. And the third best was actually 11:42 a.m. and also exit at 1:09. The money being up just about the same as the second spot. Okay, let's look at the long side. The profit wasn't quite as good, but there's still money to be made. But the one thing I want you to notice about this, and you can always pause the video and go back and look at the 1-minute chart, okay? For you day traders, you can look at the daily chart. For those that are maybe not day traders, you can look at that and just rewind the video a little bit. But if you look at the 1-minute chart, you're going to see where the transition happens just after lunch, right? We went from the market moving up, just days and days and days of the market moving up, to all of a sudden the market tipped over and we had a pullback day. The back half of the day was pulling back. You can literally see the transition on the 1-minute chart. Very powerful, okay? Remember, I warned you guys about this. I warned you that the market was going to pull back, and I've been saying it for the last 2 days, and sure enough, I believe we're seeing it right now. Okay, again, on the long side, the number one pick was at 8:30 at the opening bell, and the exit was 11:44. And then if you held 10 shares, $20, 50 shares, $100, 100 shares, $200, 200 shares, $400, and 300 shares, $600. And you can look at the rest there. All the number 2 best and the number 3 best entry over the last 3 days on the average, all were at 8:30. And their exits were very similar, 11:45 and 11:42. And the money's just about the same. That's very common. The entries and exits tend to be very, very close. Okay. So I believe we're seeing a move in the market, at least for a few days here, where we're going to see a pullback. And I think short side trades are probably the way to go. Just again, until you really get confirmation tomorrow. Okay, so I would look for confirmation tomorrow as we can. If you continue to see a downtrending going on, then we definitely got short side momentum going on. So keep that in mind. I would think right now there's got to be a favor towards short side trades, but like I said, we want confirmation. Okay, listen, if you haven't subscribed on my YouTube channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would really appreciate the thumbs up, and we'll be right back here again tomorrow. See you then.